Hello, it is 9 p.m. in at this time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines we have the President of the Republic inaugurated two patrol boats of the Coast Guard. The key strategy for accelerated economic growth. For the international scene, France is moving towards the recognition of the Palestinian state in June, according to Macron. Welcome to our newsroom. Inauguration of two 35-meter patrol boat for the Djibouti Coast Guard. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has chaired today the inaugurated of the two 35-meter patrol boat this morning named Saad Omar Guelleh and Mohamed Ali Kako. These two new vessels are accompanied by a complete logistical infrastructure, including two floating pontoons. This event marks a decisive step in Djibouti's commitment to securing its territorial waters and consolidating its role as a pillar of regional stability. These vessels, donated by Japan to Djibouti Coast Guard, bear witness to the strategic partnership between the Republic of Djibouti and Japan in various fields. Equipped with the cutting-edge technology, these patrol vessels will play a key role in securing the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, an essential route for world trade. They will also help to protect the port infrastructure and free zones that the Djibouti government has set up along its coastlines to take full advantage of its geostrategic locations on one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. In addition, these new acquisitions will strengthen Djibouti's participation in international operations, including the European Union's Operation Atalanta and the Combined Maritime Forces initiative, which supports sustainable development objectives in terms of protecting marine ecosystems while combating piracy and illicit trafficking in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. On his arrival of the old port of Djibouti, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, was warmly welcomed by the Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed, the Minister of Infrastructure, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Ibrahim, the Minister of Environment, and the Colonel of the Coast Guard, Wais Omar Boghorre. These vessels will have a significant impact on the safety of the country's maritime areas, coastal tourism, and the small-scale fishing, helping to preserve fish stocks and maintain the country's ecological and economic balance. These acquisitions will also stimulate international trade in key sectors, generating income for thousands of families. The President of the Republic and Commander of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, then cutting the ribbon to mark the official inauguration of two new patrol boats for the Djibouti Coast Guard. This event symbolizes the head of state's ongoing commitment to strengthening the operational capabilities of the country's maritime forces. This modern patrol boat consolidated Djibouti's effort in terms of maritime security, surveillance of territorial waters, and the fight against illegal activities at sea. Their commissioning marks a crucial stage in the modernization of the Djibouti Coast Guard equipment, while strengthening Djibouti's strategic positions in the protecting of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and international shipping lane. The ceremony, carefully organized by the Djibouti Coast Guard, was attended by several prominent members of the government, including Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamil Mohammed, the Speaker of the Parliament, Dileta Mohammed Dileta. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, was also present and were commanders from the various defenses and security forces, representative of the force stationed in Djibouti, as well as numerous high-ranking military officers, police officers, and members of the Coast Guard. The two patrol vessels are tasked with the surveillance of Djibouti's territorial waters, search and rescue at sea, combating human trafficking at all forms of threats such as piracy, and escorting large ships.
رسومات إسماعيليتا حديروك قال قول توكوكيا أرحبي وقول شنتا يا ابن دعاء نبها كنا يا نواي بقينا نبا قلو أرحبي ملك وقتو دي معلم ناريجي
The Japanese ambassador speeches at the inauguration of these two patrol boats. The two patrol boats said that the two patrol vessels are tasked with the surveillance of Djibouti's territorial water, search and rescue at sea, combating human trafficking and all forms of threats such as piracy, and escorting large ships. The commander of the Coast Guard, Colonel Waisa Omar Bogorre, said that these two patrol vessels are tasked with the surveillance of Djibouti's territorial waters, search and rescue at sea, combating human trafficking and all forms of trade such as piracy, and escorting large ships. The Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, Hassan Muhammad Arbahim, recalled that this donation is part of the framework agreement on the strategic partnership with Japan and meets our international obligations, in particular the United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Sea and Djibouti's Code of Conduct. These vessels will strengthen our participations in joint operations such as the European Union's Operation Atalanta and Combined Maritime Forces Initiative, while supporting the sustainable development goals related to the protection of marine ecosystems. And now listen to the Head of State, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh.
waxa weeyaan dowladda Japan iyo annagu xiriir dheer baa naga dhexeeya.
The President expressed deep appreciation for Japan's continued support in key areas such as maritime security, infrastructure, and institutional capacity building. This enduring partnership, the President stated, is a testament to the trust and common purpose that unite our two nations. It is a relationship that continues to deliver tangible benefits to our people and contributes meaningfully to the stability of our region. He concluded by reaffirming Djibouti's readiness to deepen this collaboration and to expand its engagement with all international partners committed to peace, development, and the shared security of the Horn of Africa.
The Omar Guelleh Ahmed families and the Saad Omar Guelleh Foundation expressed their deep emotions and sincere gratitude on the occasions of the solemn inauguration of ceremony of the new National Coast Guard patrol boat, with now bears the name of Saad Omar Guelleh, an exceptional carrier serving the sea and Djibouti. Throughout his life, the late Saad Omar Guelleh embodied excellences and dedication in the service of the Republic. A true man of sea, he began his career as a seaman in the harsh conditions of the North Sea, where he forged his characters and maritime expertise. These seminal experiences fueled a passion that he then put to work for his countries for more than 4 decades. Continuing her official program in the Republic of Djibouti, Victoria Abrahamchenko Vice President of the State Duma of the Russian Federation, visited the Daryeel nursery on the afternoon on Wednesday, 9 April 2025. The nursery is dedicated to the care of children in vulnerable situations. She was accompanied by the Honorable Safiya Almi Jibril, the first Vice President of the National Assembly of Djibouti, and the members of the Friendship Group as part of a visit to present the Russian parliamentary delegations with the national efforts in the field of social protection and assistance for children, created in 2011 under the aegis of the First Lady Khadra Mahmoud Haid. The Daryeel nursery is part of the national systems of solidarity and child protection. The establishment provides accommodation, care, and educational support for children who have been abandoned, orphaned, and entrusted to the state for protection. Sensitive to the welcome she received, the Russian Vice President praised the constant effort of the Djiboutian authorities in the field of child protection, maternal and child health, and social inclusion. She expressed the hope that future cooperation between the two countries will also focus on the project. And she has Victoria Abramchenko, Vice President of the State the State Duma of the Russian Federation, was invited to the gala dinners. She expressed the hope that future cooperation between the two countries would also focus on projects with a strong social impact, highlighting in particular support for early childhood and care facilities, building local capacities in education, health, and social support, promoting the role of women in the social and care professions. For her part, the Honorable recalled that the interrelations should not be limited to the economic and diplomatic spheres. The meaning of all cooperation declared lies in the capacity to improve the life of citizens, in particular the most vulnerable. The Kaspersky Hotel served as an auditorium to the World Bank's annual portfolio management meeting. This meeting, chaired by the Minister of Finance and Economy, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, focusing on the management of review of the World Bank portfolio in the countries as part of a proactive approach aimed at optimizing the use of resources. Resources allocated to project development. For his part, the Minister The Kaspersky Hotel served as an auditorium for the World Bank annual portfolio management meeting. The meeting, chaired by the Minister of Finance and Economy, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, focused on the management of review of the World Bank portfolio in the countries as part of a proactive approach aimed at optimizing the use of resources allocated to development projects. The ultimate goal is to accelerate Djibouti's economic and social transformation while consolidating the gains already made. For his part, the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, has indicated that by focusing on improving citizens' living conditions, reducing inequalities, and diversifying the economy, stockholders are mapping out an ambitious roadmap for the future. On the sidelines of the Arab Financial Institution held in Kuwait, a strategically important meeting was held between Ismail Ibrahim Roble, Minister of Budget of the Republic of Djibouti, Dr. Fahd bin Mohammed Al-Turki, Chairman of the CEO of the Arab Monetary Fund. This discussion is deepening bilateral relations between Djibouti and these key financial institutions while opening new prospects for increased cooperation in various economic files. At the outset of their meeting, Ismail Ibrahim Roble, on behalf of the Republic of Djibouti, extended an official invitation to the CEO of the IMF for a working visit to Djibouti. This approach demonstrated the Djiboutian government's desire to strengthen its ties with the Arab Monetary Fund and realize the partnership opportunities that arise from this privileged relationship. During this meeting, the two parties explored the multiple facets of their cooperation, particularly in the area of public finance. Also from Kuwait, at this time, the Minister of Budget, Ismail Ibrahim Roble, met with His Excellency Walid Al-Bahar, Director General of the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development. This strategic meeting provided an opportunity to address crucial issues related to the country's economic development while strengthening ties between Djibouti and this regional financial institution. Discussion is focused on the current status of the fund's project portfolio in Djibouti. Both officials unanimously highlighted the positive and substantial impact of the fund has in supporting national development initiatives. The Minister of Interior, Said Nur Hassan, received a delegation composed of Mr. Jacob Narengo, Secretary for Homeland Security of the Kenyan Department of State for Homeland Security and National Administration, Mr. Betinji Jean-Pierre, Executive Secretary of the Regional Center of Small Arms in his office. After a warm welcome, the delegation briefed the Minister on the objectives of their missions to Djibouti, which focused on combating the proliferation of small arms in the regions and strengthening cooperation among member states. The discussions addressed regional coordination mechanisms and Djibouti's essential role in the continental silencing the guns initiative. Minister of Interior Said Nur Hassan reaffirmed the Djiboutian government's firm commitment to combating illicit arms trafficking while welcoming the technical and strategic support provided by RISA. On a working visit to Djibouti, a delegation composed of Mr. Jacob Narengo, Secretary for Internal Security of the Kenyan Department of State for Internal Security and National Administration, Betinji Jean-Pierre, Executive Secretary of the Regional Center on Small Arms, conducted a guided tours of the Idris Farah Abane Police Academy. Upon their arrival, the delegation members were warmly welcomed by Colonel Omar Hassan, Director of Public Security of the National Police, who escorted them to the Academy's reception hall. The visit was marked by constructive discussions on the proliferation of small arms and the threat posed by these illicit weapons circulating in the regions. On this occasion, Colonel Omar Hassan presented the efforts of the Djibouti's National Police, which is tirelessly fighting this scourge day and night. He also highlighted recent initiatives, including awareness-raising workshop held in the capital and in the interior regions, aimed at informing the public about the danger associated with the circulation of small arms and light weapons. The head of the delegation welcomed the commitment of the Djiboutian government through the actions of the national police in combating the proliferation of small arms. And Cairo to host a second ministerial on the Khartoum process on irregular immigration. Djiboutian delegation led by the ambassador of Djibouti to Brussels, Adan Mohamed Dileita, and comprising the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior, Suleiman Moumi Roble, the coordinator of the National Bureau for Migration, Colonel Abdul Qadir Ibrahim Gona, traveled to Cairo to participate in the second ministerial meeting on the Khartoum process for April 7 to 9, 2025, organized by Egypt, which currently holds the presidency. The Khartoum process primary mission is to facilitate coordination and consultation between member states on migration issues related to the flow of people moving from East Africa to Africa. The objective of this mission is between the ministers responsible for immigration. The gendarmes of the 3, 4, 5 district brigade acted on intelligence report on the storage and sell unauthorized pharmaceutical product in a warehouse located on Avenue 26. After a thorough search, the gendarmes located the suspicious warehouse where customers were purchasing a pharmaceutical product without a medical prescription. The investigators immediately conducted a search of the premises. This operation resulted in the discovery of 3,105 boxes of pharmaceutical product, 2,844 boxes of the skin lightening cream, and 300 boxes of various pharmaceutical products. These products were fraudulently imported from neighboring countries, lacking the regulatory documents issued by the Ministry of Health. These goods were seized following a requisition sent to the General Inspectorate of Health Services. It was revealed that this medication and skin lightening creams can have harmful consequences on the public health. And for the international scene, France is moving towards recognition of the Palestinian state in June, according to Macron. Emmanuel Macron recently returned from Egypt, where he assessed the challenges of humanitarian assistance in Gaza, announced his intention to formally recognize the state of Palestine next June. Emmanuel Macron announced on Wednesday that France could recognize a Palestinian state in June during a conference it will co-chair with Saudi Arabia at the United Nations in New York. We must move towards recognition of the Palestinian state, editors note, and so we will move in the coming months, the French president declared in an interview with the France 5 programs. It is yours, given upon his return from Egypt on Tuesday and broadcast on Wednesday. Our goal is sometimes in June to share this conference with Saudi Arabia, where we could finalize the move towards mutual recognition by several parties, he added. Israel threatened to dismiss 970 pilots from protesting the war in Gaza. Israel Air Forces commanders threatened on Wednesday to dismiss approximately 970 personnel, including pilots, officers, and soldiers, if they do not withdraw their signatures from a letter calling for an end to the war in Gaza. Local media reported this. Israeli Daily Haaretz reported that nearly 970 air crew members, including some in active reserve services. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.